Hello, Amazon Mandy again with another tutorial. I'm going to cover airbrushing again for makeup purposes like I did with my Drain Eye or costumes like my She-Hulk. I've done a tutorial on this before, but I kind of did it at a convention while I was painting myself, and it was a little hectic and hard to tell what was going on. So I wanted to redo it and hopefully a much clearer method to help people out. Um, I'm going to put my air compressor on the floor during the video, so hopefully that helps with the noise because it's a loud little guy. But let's start out with what you'll need to get started. Obviously, an air compressor. This is my little one. You can get these at most art stores now, Amazon, and they've become very affordable. So don't be intimidated by them. You don't need a big machine if you're only going to be doing little projects. I use this thing for everything, from painting myself to painting fabrics. So most of them come with a little airbrush gun. This is like the cheapest of the cheap. And it is starting to die. So every once in a while I kind of have to tweak it with tweezers. You won't have to do that. Hopefully I won't have to do that much during the tutorial. But I have a couple more on the way. They haven't arrived yet. So I'm going to make do with this guy for now. Most of your air compressors will come with little bottles with lids and handy dandy nozzles that fit. Different makes and models are going to have different fittings, so make sure you either get some that come with your particular kind of nozzle, or you're making sure they're compatible when you buy them, because most brands won't fit each other. These are really cheap, so grab a whole bunch. That way you can mix a bunch of colors at once if you want. You will need your color, and I'm going with blue today, so it should show up really well on my skin. I love Ben Nye Magic Color. It is my absolute, there you go, favorite. I love this stuff. They blend with other colors really easily, so if you want to be light blue, you can mix it with white, and it works so well. Love this stuff. And you're going to need Final Seal. And for some reason, every single time I've ordered Final Seal, it comes in a different color. I've gotten it clear, blue, and now it's this kind of gross green color. I don't know why. It's all the same stuff, so if you get one and it's not this color, don't freak out. I'm sure it's the same stuff. Ben Nye. Oh gosh, I'm bad at that. Final Seal. There you go. So I think that's basically it to get started, and this should be fun doing it on myself. I'm going to open up my blue. Actually, I did shake it before because I didn't want to sit here and do this in front of you guys for 2 minutes. But you hear it has a big bead in there. That helps with the mixing it up. A little bit goes a really long way. Like even when I would paint most of my whole body with my Drain Eye, I would probably use about 75% of a bottle. For my She-Hulk, which is only my face and arms, like 25%. You can always mix more. Make sure you seal the lid really well and use it again later. But if you're only using this for one time purpose, don't go nuts and waste all your paint filling up a bottle or two, because you will not use it. So this will be more than enough for tutorial purposes. Little guy in there. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you that may not agree with what other tutorials say online, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. Most tutorials and even the websites that sell these materials are going to tell you when you're done painting yourself, spray your Final Seal on to seal your paint. I absolutely hate this method. In my opinion, it feels like hairspray on your skin. It's a little stiff and a little sticky. And I've noticed in joints, like, on your wrists or inside your elbows, when I spray Final Seal on top of my paint, it tends to crack. It's flaky. I hate the way it feels, so I don't do that. So what I actually do is mix my Final Seal directly into my paint. There we go. It does not take much. So I've got maybe 15% of a bottle there, and I'll try to do this right where you guys can see it. There, that'll do. Maybe that was 10 drops. It does not take a lot of it, but I really feel like mixing it into my paint instead of spraying it on afterwards gives me the best results. I've done it every time that I've used the paint, and I've always been happy with it. So seal your little bottle up, and however your bottles clip on to your little airbrush gun, clip them on. They're all going to be a little different. And now I'm going to turn on my air compressor. I hope it's not too loud. I don't think that's too bad. I hope not. But I have a roll of paper towels here just because you're going to want them, you know, paper towels or scrap rags or something because it can get messy. And I'm just going to spray out a few splotches to make sure it's running good. Wow, it's really coming out. I'm actually going to turn that to let out a little less paint. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's coming out nicely. And you just start. It's not that hard. I have airbrushed myself every time that I've airbrushed for cosplay and just had somebody hit the spot in my back that I can't reach myself really quick. This isn't rocket science. Don't be intimidated by it. So I'm just going to do my hand as an example. It'll probably get on my bracelet. I don't care because it washes off. So everybody does this a little differently. I like to work in very short, controlled bursts. I feel like that allows me to go back and continue layering without putting on too much at once. So you see, I'm already getting really good coverage. A little bit goes a really long way with this. Try to do this where you can see it. Coming along. Now, what you want to do is let it dry. It does not take long, like 30 seconds at tops. And the liquid in the paint evaporates out and it leaves nothing but the pigment and the final seal. So once that dries and sets, this stays on so well. I've never had a problem with it coming off and staining my clothes. Other people, you know, if somebody gives you a hug at the con, they're not a hot mess afterwards. This is a really nice, simple way to do it. It's probably the most affordable way because I'm cheap. And I've always been really happy with the results. And I'm not saying like it's impossible to get on a little bit on your clothes. Like my She-Hulk, the spandex is really tight under my arm. So when I wear it, you know, a little bit will get on my arm. It washes out in the washing machine, you know, especially with a little stain remover like Oxy or Era or whatever your area has. One thing you want to pay attention to when you're doing your joints is, you know, if you bend your wrist like this, the paint is not going to get down into all of the little cracks of your skin, like lovely places like your knuckles. I'm going to show you an example of how to do it wrong, just so you kind of get an idea what I'm saying. So I'm going to really straighten this finger. I'm going to airbrush it. And now, when you look up close, oh, that looks so good, except, oh, look, I bent my knuckle, and you can see all that. That is something you really want to pay attention to when you're airbrushing yourself. Bend all of your joints and make sure you're getting paint in all of your nasty little crevices. Let it dry for a second. I do find that blowing on it just kind of helps it evaporate a little bit faster. And I'm not going to go like crazy because I'm willing to bet you guys already get the idea. So there you go. This is how you airbrush yourself. It is that easy, that quick, it is that cheap. And now you could be like whatever you want. Now, once this is dry and set, I'm sure some of you were thinking, oh, that's great. Like, you know, how am I ever going to get it off? It's so easy because this stuff is water soluble. So, let's get a clean paper towel, shall we? It's obviously going to be a lot easier if you just jump in a shower and wash it off of yourself. That's what I do every time that I do this. But seriously, it stays on really well and it comes off with water. Not a problem. Water takes it off. There you go. It's that easy. When you are done, put a clean bottle of water onto your paint bottle and run it and make sure all of the paint is completely out of your little paint gun. Because sometimes it does get up in there. I don't understand the science of these. I don't know how that works. The paint will get up in there. And it's a nightmare. It ruins your gun. In fact, I think that's why I've been having problems with this one lately. So I ordered another couple cheap ones. Because paint gets in there. Take the nozzle off and soak it. Clean it with a toothbrush if you're really worried about it. I try to save my leftover paint in these bottles. I put saran wrap over the top and seal them with a lid. For the most part, they'll keep for months and months that way. Every once in a while, they dry out inside the bottle, like I let my last dose of Drain Eye paint do, and now I have a little meteorite of paint that is completely wasted. So, you know, it's not like it's that expensive, so it's not a huge loss. But honestly, I would just wash it out. You can make more. It doesn't cost that much, and now I have a nightmare bottle to try and clean out, or just buy new ones because they're cheap. So I hope that helps out. If you have any other questions, feel free to send them to me about this. I'll try to answer them all. If you like this and you want to see more of my tutorials, I have all of my video tutorials and all of my image-based tutorials on my Patreon, which is at Amazon Mandy. And sometimes I do tutorials and other special things that only my patrons can see, but most of them are all free. So if you're absolutely broke and don't have $1, that's okay, because they're all available for everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Send me any questions. Oh, I also wanted to add, if you like my shirt, my awesome friend Jen makes them at Animated Trash Swag. So be sure to check them out. They have all kinds of adorable clothes. This was a t-shirt. I turned it into a tank top because I live in Florida and it's hot. Check out Animated Trash Swag.